Okay, we should now be back. Just going to check that again. Um, Go over to that, see if I can see the chat at all. It's not currently. Yeah, that should be visible. It should be visible for me. Why can I not see it? Why is chat? That's coming up on there, but not for. Let's remove that. This is very, very strange. Why is chat not enabled? Where the hell is it? Manage, close. Yeah, should be okay. All right, so guys, just a few technical difficulties. Always going to be a few errata on the first stream. Just trying to figure out why the bloody hell chat is not showing up on my end. Can't see a bloody thing. That's very strange indeed. Oh, we shall try and move forwards without that. We're going to go for 2 hours. Sorry about that. Let's just get going, otherwise not going to happen. New update today. We have, of course, now got to look at the integrity of our bases, which is very, very important. You can see over here we have a supply and troop ratio and such. We need to make sure our fuel and engineering are up on every single base properly. So we're going to have a reduction of 1 engineering and 1 fuel every week now as an arbitrary reduction. We need to make sure that is topped up for any forward bases we actually want to make sure have some sort of utility. So that's interesting, very, very interesting indeed. What has changed also is the cost of submarines and aircraft carriers. You might remember that the S-class here used to cost 15 command points, now costing 27. And the Tambors and Gators used to cost, I believe, 20. They now cost 30, which is rather interesting indeed. We'll see. We'll see. Luckily, as the US, submarines aren't the most important in your beginning. So what we're going to go for is, in fact, a carrier. I'm going to go for the Yorktown. For those that watch my quick how to start guide as the US, I like to go for the Saratoga, but that's gone up to 135 command points. Why did I go for the Saratoga? Well, it's actually just the tiniest bit faster than the Yorktown, so we're not really losing out too much on there, which is rather interesting indeed. We're going to go for that, and we are, of course, going to go for a couple cheap destroyers to escort that. So we're going to go for, I think, 2 Summers out of our 5 available. And that is going to be just fine there. It's going to cost 137 command points. We're going to go all the way down. Going to get that moving already. And we're actually going to be ballsy and go through past Tarawa and I forget what this one's called, Cosrai over here. We're going to go through the Gilbert Islands like that. I'm not going to waste any time because we know that the Japanese will be coming for Milne Bay and Port Moresby, and they do like to park a lot of their carriers in this particular area here between the Gilbert Islands and the Solomon Islands, of course. So we're going to be sending out as much or as many dive bombers as possible. What we're going to do then to support that and to actually act as a roadblock towards Milne Bay is we're going to go for some cruisers. Of course, we're going to go for a surface task force, and this will of course encourage us to take surface engagements as well. We're going to go for I think a Pensacola, not necessarily a bad idea. Why Pensacola? Because it has 10 guns and it also has a fair bit standard sort of armor for a heavy cruiser. We're not going to go for Northampton because of that lack of armor at the moment. We can put that into a separate task force later. I quite like going for a Portland because of the armor and the excellent radar it has. Just that much better. If we compare it to the Pensacola, the surface radar of the Pensacola is 23 kilometers. The Portland's is 41 kilometers. Very, very strong indeed. And so is the New Orleans. But the New Orleans has slightly less armor, but still fairly standard. This is something that the US cruisers sort of have. They sort of mismatch their armor, whereas these Japanese heavy cruisers, they're more standardized. You don't need to worry about that. You need to worry more about the broadsides and just less. I think actually the Japanese cruisers, they have slightly higher armor rating than the Americans. Rather interesting there actually. But the Americans make up for it in sheer gun power. So we're also going to go for a light cruiser. I quite like going for a Brooklyn because it has a decent amount of armor, it has a decent amount of gun power, and it also allows you to fire off some more catapult scouts. Which is something you don't get from the Atlanta, which is available. Unfortunately, the Cleveland not available until the 15th of June. So there's a few months to wait. Yeah, that's okay. It's not too bad. But it's still a wait, which means it's not available. The Atlanta, not particularly bad. It does what it says on the tin, you know. A lot of dual-purpose guns. There's going to be a lot of flak coming out. But the Brooklyn and the fact that we've got a lot of cruisers already does that job quite well for me. So we're going to go for a few cheap destroyers. I quite like to go for a few Bensons, maybe some Benhams. They do cost 6. There are some other decent destroyers. We've got Sims over here, which does have the slightly better torpedo possibility there, but we're going to pay 7 rather than 6 over there. And I do want to cut some costs early on, and we are going to be losing destroyers when we take surface engagements, unfortunately. The AI does like to focus ships. I think I've noticed they focus ships according to what sort of ships they have in their task force. So destroyers and light cruisers go for other destroyers. Heavy cruisers tend to mix, actually. I think just go for really the closest target by the looks of it, and battleships will go for your own battleships as a priority and then your cruisers. So that's rather interesting. We're going to go for 2 Bensons and we're going to go for 2 Benhams to start with. I like to go for 4 destroyers at a minimum for fighting task forces so that we can cover our both front and rear okay for AA and submarine protection. So we're going to go for that to start with. This is where we fall off though on the chat inability at the moment. I would have loved to have your input for this. I will have a look into this technical issue. It's really, really unprofessional. Happy 1000 sub special video, guys. Because we're going to have some points left over. And do we want to see more destroyers, or do we want to see another light cruiser in that task force? Because it's not quite going to be enough for some decent submarines. We'll get into that in a second. What's more important at the moment is that we get some supply ships out. I quite like going for 1 Macaulay, if we press you see. Quite like going for Macaulay because it does carry the large amount of troops in one ship. Although it's quite an expensive ship in itself, we will cut some costs and be a little more efficient rather than just spamming out smaller ships. We're going to go for a crater as well for that just tiniest bit extra amount of troops there. It does carry the 900 at a cost of 9. And it can double up as a very nice supply transport. But we are going to go for some archery or archeruses. I want to say archery. Sounds right to me. Gonna go. We need about we'll say 4 supplies there to be decent. In accordance to good supplies to troop ratios there. 2 Arcturus just to support the 1 Macaulay, and we'll get an extra 2 to double up and make sure we have enough supplies for the Type C and the extra troops on the Macaulay there. We're also going to go for a couple fuel ships. We're going to go for a Patapsco and a Cimarron over here, and that is so that we can drop some engineering off on to Shortland. We are going to go for the instant Shortland invasion today. I do like to do that. It gets us an extra base, takes away a base from the enemy as well, and it will boost our very limited command points income as the US. We're going to go for, I think, 1 more Arcturus. and that is so that we can properly drop some engineering off. That'll be 72 engineering, certainly enough to support some B-17s there. The reason we're going for such a massive amount of fuel to start off with is because we are going to turn Shortland into a level 3 port at some point. So that we don't have to go all the way back to Midway just to rearm our ships. So with that being said, let's go for that. In fact, what I'm going to do is have a review of our points. So we've got 29 spare points available. And you may notice we don't have any destroyers in this particular task force. Not usually a great idea with your supply task force. Is very much unprotected. So what we're actually going to do is go for, I think, just to support that much more, we're going to go for, if we go to Midway, you see, we're going to go to Destroyer Escort. We're going to add 1 supportive Clemson here for 3 command points. We're going to put some supplies on that to double up on there. Going to merge the group. Need to merge it through, just cycle through there. Excellent. No, it's not gonna. Is it gonna pick up the other ships? Oh, we'll need to move out first. Not a problem. In that case, we will split this off and make sure we manage our cargo there. We are going to make sure we manage some cargo before we move out as well. We'll call this group Yorktown to make it a little more qualitative there. It's more visual, and we're going to go over here and we'll call this the very much imaginative Battle Force 1, like so. And we are going to load up some troops and supplies on this as well. It's another good reason for bringing some light cruisers. We're going to add just a few troops here. Supplies probably a little more important because I will want to bet that the enemy will go for Milne Bay first. Once again, going to be very cheeky, go through the Gilbert Islands, and we're going to go, I think, southwards here, just to avoid the radar of the Shortlands and the range of Rabaul. At some point, we will be looking at bombarding Rabaul over here. Because it is a level 5 airfield, and that radar coverage along with the massive amounts of planes on Rabaul is very, very dangerous indeed. We're going to go to our supply convoy, make sure we load this up properly. Let's go to manage cargo. Troops on the first 2 ships, go for 4 loads of supplies here, and of course go for some engineering as well. And then we will go for some of that on there as fuel on the Patapsco and Cimarrons. I do apologise. Going to go straight on down. Actually, we're going to wait for that Clemson. And we're going to save up our points, move out, and I think we're going to get another fast supply task force in with that. So we're going to get a large group of supply Clemsons if possible. Just double check how many Clemsons are available. 15, that's absolutely fine. It's going to be fairly cheap. We get a good amount of Clemsons there. That can double as a fast resupply task force as well as ASW group as well, because they do have the depth charges and sonar. So without any further ado, let's press play very quickly. Let those move out. Get these task forces over here to merge, because we weren't able to do that. Excellent. We'll move this one out as well. Clemson does have supplies. Going to be very spicy once again. Go through here and then go straight onto the Shortland base over here. It's going to take 220 hours to get over there. And we're also going to buy those new Clemsons. Going to go as many as possible, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going to use all of them here, aren't we? Might want to reduce that a tad. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. We'll make it 6 for now, so we can save up just to save some pennies here and there. Going to go for supplies. 100% go for supplies. These will, of course, they're faster than our ships, than our supply ships, but they can drop off things onto the Shortland base over here, and just supplies won't burn down by themselves. You need troops on the ground to actually initiate surface combat. So let's get going. This is the boring part, just waiting out. We're not going to launch off any initial scouts just yet. Not a lot we can do at the moment. It does take the IGN a bit of time to move on down. with their ships and such. There's no need to do a lot of scouting at the moment. Generally, the trip between Midway and the Gilbert Islands is rather safe. So I think we're okay there. It's great to see 17 of you here. I really do apologise that there's no chat feature. That really is just me being completely inept. Yorktown has cited something. Well, there we go. There we go. We're going to lose Yorktown on the first turn, guys. Called it. That's very, very interesting indeed. In all of my practice runs, we've not seen a single destroyer. We're in line ahead. We've got 2 summers. Bloody go. This is going to be rather interesting. We're going to go for... also gunnery off. We're going to, of course, activate sonars. We're going to move down to, I think, 11 knots. Gives us some speed to scout any... Oh, my dear Lord. Look at that. That's right on top. There's 1, 2... One right on top of us there. We're going to probably lose Yorktown, guys. This is rather interesting indeed. This is going to be a great start. Well, not a lot we can do about that. Let's go to break here, go full speed ahead because we're going to turn around and instantly hit this submarine. And we're going to do the same here, I think, really. Just going to have to go full speed and turn around. We know where they are. We can see them. Yorktown may have to go full speed as well. And turn away, I think, so we get a better spread of torpedoes, a wider spread. Actually, the Warrington over here can... Yeah, there's the torpedoes coming out. We'll just reduce our speed very quickly here. Yeah, the torpedoes are definitely going for Yorktown there. We're going to have to be very, very careful of that. Should really... I was going to send the Warrington onto this sub over here, but we've lost sight of that just for now. Going to straighten up a tad, reduce our turn a tad with the Yorktown there, because I don't want to swing our arse in the face of that. We'll try and get this Warrington over here, slow down so we don't get hit by the torpedoes. I am going to abuse the pause, I'm afraid, guys, because I don't want to lose a bloody carrier right on the first bloody few minutes. If we take 1 or 2 hits, that's fine. Looks like they have missed there. The torpedoes, oh, right on top of this one. Let's just abuse the underwater look here. Right on top of that. Let's go to all of the depth charges. Go for a 4 spread. Reduce our rudder shift. Reduce our speed. I think Yorktown's okay at the moment. We will keep turning though. And we'll turn these summers round to have a look at that. We will reduce our speed here so we can get a sonar contact, and we'll go over to the Warrington over here and we will start dropping. Bloody hell. Let's reduce our speed again. Not exactly 0. This is the first time this has happened for me. I was not expecting this. I'd have been a lot more careful if I knew this was going to happen. That's bloody... I'm not going to blame Ashlander for that. He knows. He knew we would do this. He's watched my video previously. I bet there's a 3rd submarine about somewhere. I bloody bet there is. We've overturned with the summers over here, but not to worry. Let's take reports. Minor damage only to that submarine there. That is rather interesting indeed, and it has escaped us. So what we're going to do is increase our speed and turn. We're going to have to be very careful though, because we might just get a small collision here. Let's just increase our speed to full. Might want to just stop with our Yorktown, at least just get out. Let's give that a proper nav point to just get the ruddy bloody hell out of there. Do we have... I've just seen more torpedoes coming in. More, so the worth... Well, there are still 3 submarines about. That's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. How dare you? Just go sip of a drink. This is thirsty work. Oh dear. Imagine if that was at periscope depth. That's a C-type as well. That's got 8 torpedoes. 8 frontal torpedoes there. So we're going to slow down once again because we've lost contact with those ships. We need to slow down with both of these. But at this point, you know what? If we lose sight of them, I'm going to take it. We've not lost the Yorktown just yet. It's making me very, very scared about the fact that we have basically zero ASW capabilities in our transport convoy there. We need to slow down here, I think reduce our rudder shift over here, and we just get some depth charges off straight away. Actually, just give that some time to lead over here, and now we can get them off. Is that another? Yep, that's okay. We can turn around with the Warrington, give that a big wide turn. We've lost contact with this on the map because it is behind us, not a bother there. Make sure we're not turning away from that. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, dearie dear. Oh, we're getting some nice hits on that. I can see some saturation going on now. Oh, lovely, lovely work. Lovely, lovely work there. That's probably only mine. Oh, that's heavy to critical. That's the one we previously hit as well. So we can keep the Summers in position over here, I think. So that we can... Oh, that's probably best actually keep that moving on to the next sub. That will be at a port side turn there. Oh, another sip of my drink. It's kicking off, guys. Yeah, Yorktown's going to get the hell out of there at 5 knots. Dear me. Tell you what, we'll stop the Warrington so much. We'll get it to turn round over. I should just manually turn it port side there. So it can face its sonar towards these subs. And we will compress time over here. Don't need to keep the Summers over here going at a really high speed there, just so that we can keep contact with this sub. But I will turn it up to 12 knots-ish so that we can catch up with that. And how many depth charges was that? That was a good odd amount of depth charges, 12 on that. We're going to slow down the Warrington now so that it can keep sonar contact and so that we don't get a collision. I do like to abuse. This is an insight into how I make my videos now, guys. And I will be putting it out there that any fighter spam, single fighter spam, will give them a chance to hunt us, but not very long indeed, because once we get closer to Lie and Shortland and such, it is going to be constant. We're going to turn the Warrington, actually. If we make that attack, and then we can... do that more manually. Just get it an attack order so that we can do it a little more manually. We are going to identify this another Type C over here. Go to SS and Type C. Thank you. You can tell it's a Type C in particular because of the more slanted bridge there. And this, oh, bloody hell, it's actually surfaced. Did not see that. Well, this is why I've got a contact on it, guys. Look at that. So, let's get HE narrow fire. It is actually, let's get on that properly. And we'll give it a manual shot because it is at 0 knots. And that's going to do a little bit of damage to us. We're looking in the wrong place. Oh, very nice hit on that. Yeah, that's got to be, yeah, it's going down. Excellent. Very, very nice indeed. Looks like we took a hit here. We did indeed, but nothing we can't manage there. Getting a bit bored on this one, so we're going to speed up. Turn over to that. And we will just make sure we get on top of that properly. Warrington then can just stay still once again very quickly. What are we shooting at now? Is he still going for that? Yep, let's hold fire then. Hold, cease, please, stop. This is the problem with manual fire, just don't bloody stop. If I manually, can I tell it to hold? No, that's just going to keep going. All right, let's go over here. Can we see this sub just yet, or do we bug out? I don't want to just let that one go. That's the thing. We can bag 2 subs, 2 C types as well, which are somewhat on the limited side there. There we go, just coming over it. Just move over. Adjust angle of thrust. And there we go. So it's not going particularly quickly, but we are going to drop now. Yeah, get some nice hits there. Very close hits indeed. And it is sinking. Excellent, let's go. Can't see the third. Only 1 command point gained, but 2 Type Cs down and a surviving Yorktown. So what we're going to do is we're going to... Well, these are our... we're going to be a little more careful about this and just re-divert the tiniest bit more careful there. We are going to call this invasion very quickly, just so it's a little more visual once again. And we're going to call this fast supplies. Excellent. So let's get going again. Much excite. We shall see if the mod has updated how many troops and supplies and such are currently stationed on Shortland. And now that we're getting closer to the main battle area, we can finally launch some scouting planes. We're going to launch some air cobras because they can handle themselves fairly well. We don't need particularly long flight times either. We are going to send that very directly over this straight over here. We are on 483 kilometers of endurance there. That will do for that. Having said that, I don't generally pick up a lot of contacts in this area with these scouts. Even though we know this is where they come from past experience, we're going to make that a little more inwards there, actually, like so. We have some Kissy Hawks available as well, just to get one of those out. Very, very short range, but we'll just put that in a straight line like that, so we get some sort of forewarning. I am going to leave the scouts over here. Actually, no, we are going to do this. Bear with me, this is going to take some time. But we are going to send 1 Wildcat at a time out and give ourselves carpal tunnel, as is only proper. So we have 755 endurance on there. That was nothing. Look at that. We want to stretch out a tad there so that we do pick things up. Tedious, but we need to do it. Wish there was like a shift click option where you could go by intervals of 5 or something at least, or straight down to 1 plane there, but not to worry. Let's go back, actually use the correct shortcuts because we do know what we're doing. And we'll come round over here and do that. So let's go through there and we'll make that short for the minute so that we're not flying directly over Taro there. And we shall go over here. We'll make this sort of radial, bit of a 360 degree because that will count later on especially. We'll just send off 1 or 2 more to do that. And that will do for now. We'll send off a couple more when we get closer to our desired engagement area. Send that off over here for now, like so, and we can carry on. Let's go. Alrighty. What are we going to find? Anything over here? Hopefully not. There we go. We got some planes already, and we do have another carrier about. And this is why you send things with 0 armament first, because we do get that very nice, juicy cooldown of 0 minutes. We can instantly relaunch if we send airplanes without strike equipment. So we're going to send all 24. I'm going to get a lot of dive bombers in here. We are going to make sure that our radars are turned on. And I think we're going to make sure we get some smoke. And to help stay in the smoke, we're actually going to reduce our speed a tad for now. I forgot to launch the planes. Forgot to launch the planes, guys. This is going to be horrible. Oh, well, shit happens. Let's start dodging them. Vals can't do loads and loads to a Yorktown. We will, in that case, brake, increase speed a tad, and move starboard side, turn away. Warrington can turn starboard as well. Very professional. Very much know what I'm doing. But we do have a lot of vowels over here. We can see roughly 18. They're probably going to have about 21 to 4-ish, though. Now, if this were an attack I were doing, the vowels would not get anywhere near Yorktown. But that's okay. And we're going to change our course here and there. Not doing this as optimally as we probably should do. Looks like they're really going... No, they are going for Yorktown. Change our speed up and down. Be very, very careless. Got 1 before they dropped. Got 2 before they dropped on the first lots. That's fine. Got 3 just after they dropped, but that's just about a hit there. Nothing too major. And we're going to change our course and speed once again. That's a dud. Excellent. They have hit a flight component at the moment. That one dropped just before it went down. Look at that. Taking a beating. Now, we could have cheesed out. That's okay. This one's going for the Summers, actually. That's doing us a massive favour. This one is going for the carrier, though. And I think for that last drop, we are just going to change our course once again. And our speed is going to reduce a tad, but it's too late because they are going to drop. Mostly misses there. You have a little bit of flooding. But you know what? It's absolutely fine so long as our flight decks are operational. Can't see a bloody thing in this smoke. Where are they? There we go. So it's the Summers that's really doing a bit badly there. Actually taking a hit towards the magazine area. And that could develop. But that's everyone so far. And some mismanagement. Oh dear. It's amazing. It really is amazing how we do okay for proper YouTube videos. A stream? Nah. Just forget. Just forget how to play the game. But we are going to stop. That's all the planes. Going to let our damage control teams work around a bit. At least get rid of the flooding on these 2 components. Get rid of the fires on the Yorktown. Not going to fully repair from this or fully get all the components done. Just give it some time to see if anything reacts from this. And we can just go out. So there's no need to stay here. No need to stay. And it's just, if I'm honest, I would probably say it's a little bit boring to watch, just sat here like that. So the magazine's fine. Let that repair up because we will have lost our front turrets otherwise. And that's, for this task force, at least translates as direct AA. And we're getting on top of some of the fires as well while we're waiting for that. Hey, could have been worse. Could have been worse. You know, we survive a submarine attack only to be dive bombed to shit. Tell you what though, what we are going to do is launch some. We launched 12 Wildcats, I think, for the task force over here. Let's press done this time, and we'll send them to Battle Force 1 there. What we'll also do is change Battle Force 1's formation to convoy. We have the Pensacola leading that, and Portland in the middle there. 5 and 6 is great. 8 and 7 is great. So we're all good. This is what I mean when I want the 4 destroyers at least, so we can cover our sides and our front and rear properly, according to possible enemy submarine attacks. Let's keep going again. No, that's gone back. We've got a problem with Wildcat over here. They have intercepted this retreating group, but it is retreating, so I think we'll just give that a second over here. No, it's not retreating because it is now in range of our group over here. Our Wildcats over here not exactly in position to do too much against this, so we're going to let those stay on fire at will for now. We're going to properly select this, and we're going to smoke up once again. We're going to, well, our air radars are on. That's how we found the contacts on the map. And we're going to, do you want to turn in or away from them? I think we're going to expose ourselves a little, but expose them to more AA and turn somewhat broadsides. It is only zeros. So the bombs are fairly lightweight. So even if they hit a destroyer, it will damage a few components on a destroyer, but it won't be anywhere near as severe as the Vals have just done. So we're going to make sure that our Wildcats over here are spreading out their targets while on the approach, but we're not likely going to get in before they drop, which is rather unfortunate. Just move things around here, because it does look like they have all focused on one particular plane, and that is not usually good. We do like to have numbers, of course, but all on one plane really is overkill and a waste of manpower there. So we are firing out with our flak. We're covered in smoke, all looking good, all looking dandy. And they have dropped. Looks like they're going for the Brooklyn. Brooklyn will be able to shrug a lot of that off. Have downed an aircraft there. Excellent. But that's after it's drops. How are we looking on the Brooklyn? That was a minor hit there. It's got a propeller so far. Looks like what we're going for here. Another heavy cruiser perhaps? Okay, interesting. Let's brake. Let's increase our speed and we'll turn even harder here. But we now have to worry about the Wildcats. And a dogfight amidst enemy AA is not one you should be taking. Shouldn't have to tell you that, guys, but we'll slow down here because we might just get a collision. And there we go. So that's everyone dropped. Only took the one hit. We will try and down a few of these zeros, but it looks like we're not going to be able to catch up so easily to them. This Wildcat, we're going to turn that off if we can. There you go. Don't need to waste so much ammunition there. And we will tell everyone to stop here because collisions are a possibility. And that will do a lot more damage than a bomb. I'm just going to, yeah, we're turning here. That's fine. Let's make sure we do stop before we hit the New Orleans. New Orleans can stop properly as well. This can just reduce its speed and come out here. Pensacola, you can actually stop. I think we're all good there. Excellent. Have we downed any more aircraft? Doesn't particularly look like it, does it? And we have just then. Excellent. But the fights are now much more 3D, shall we say. So they are dodging and weaving fairly effectively. Are these Wildcats in range? Doesn't really look like it. And we're going at max speed. Try and get some range shots off there, but it's not looking like they're connecting. Oh, they're making some progress. We can fire if they're smoking. Might just squeeze in a kill there. It's not looking too great though, so we will stop that now. And you know what? I think we might as well just come out of here. Try and get rid of this 0 actually, because that's very tempting and it is smoking. Can we cheek in some shots there? No, we can't. What about this Wildcat over here? He's going to get that down. Excellent. We're not going to get these which are retreating, so let's just leave. And they lost 5 out of 8, so actually not too bad at all there. Let's bring these Wildcats over. They should be the last on the list. We're going to bring them over to Yorktown now, because I think they'll come in with dive bombers now. It's bloody dangerous, isn't it? It's dangerous work. I'm going to have another sip of my drink. Can't even bloody get in now. I'm not looking forward to when they send in a double battleship group. So that's always happening. You know what? On the first couple days in my test games, they generally send a Yamato as one of their first ships over to Milne Bay. Generally, send a Yamato over. And I don't like that. Fast supplies is being caught by torpedo bombers. That's probably just some Mavises. If it's not Mavises or island launch planes, then that is cause for concern. It's not. So that is interesting. Okay. That means their carrier is closer than we think. They've moved up. So we are somewhat mispositioned here. Wouldn't have minded a thicker line. What we're going to do is break off with a lot of these. And we are going to just move out so that we're not all going to get hit by the same torpedo line here. And we're going to manually take control of the Goldsboro here. Do have also fire flak on, but because we're only Clemsons here, we're going to be relying really on small arms, to be honest. If we look at Clemsons, I've gone past it. Their AA is really actually focused around the centre and the rear, which is rather interesting. We're going to keep on this turn, because turning in now is too late. It looks like they're actually going a bit further in with this drop. They're probably going for the Brooks. So we're going to increase our turn here. Slow down a tad so we get more time into our AA. Looks like this group may have dropped here. Let's increase our turn, decrease our speed. That's not looking so bad. Looking all right on the Brooks here. Yeah, look at that. They're trying to go for a cross drop there, aren't they? That's disgusting. Can't let them do that. Brooks, turning. Increase your speed, please. Just increase your speed. Just missed a torpedo on our rudder there. Oh, dear. This group is going for Goldsboro, is it? Or is it going for the Noah here, by the looks of it? So let's turn away then. Let's increase our turn, please. Actually, get going. Slow down a tad. What is this group going for? They have yet to drop. Looks like they're going for the Gilmer here. Yeah. Turned a little too early here, so they're going to get straight on top of us. But if we increase our speed, please. There we go. Should be okay there. So we just need to watch. It looks like they're actually going for the little over here. We turn out once again. Slow down a tad. Noah can turn over here. Keep its speed up. And I think we can actually outrun those torpedoes over there. This can stop turning so much and thread the gap. Slow down. We might just take this one, which will be a shame, actually. Oh, that's another one. Missed that. This one. Yeah, that's nasty. Very, very nasty indeed. Just a little bit of mismanagement there. How's this one looking? Very, very central, actually. Very, very central. So that's a lot of components completely destroyed there. That might be lost, this one. Might well be lost. Made a good go of it. Just so many to watch there. So many to watch. We did down a handful of them. A good handful. But that means, yeah, George, this one's sinking. Look at that. Rather unlucky placement on that torpedo there. Little, not looking so bad. Not looking so bad. But we are just going to leave that, unfortunately, guys. Those are completely destroyed components. I just want to get going, really. Want to actually make it towards Shortland today, at least. Deary me. Deary me. Imagine that. So, with that being said, let's carry on. Might hang. I think we really just want to keep going, don't we, with our CV there. Yeah, now we're guessing the planes over here. This is what I mean. We're not going to try and get bogged down too much with these engagements if they don't spot us too quickly over here. Actually, they have now. What do we have? Do have some zeros. They are armed with bombs. Wonder, they do appear. There we go, we're down to excellent stuff. So, wonder if they came from Lie or a carrier. That's the question. You can only keep going. Luckily, we're at night time. Encounter Port Moore's about to find let's get a retreat. Zoom on in. Okay, so where we're going to park Yorktown, just over here. Might want to pull back with Yorktown a tad, just so that we're not in range of their radar. There we go. All right, cool. Let's mark that up. And what we're going to do is ignore that for now. This Wildcat is out of fuel, so that was a very lucky spot. We are absolutely going to launch Wildcats before our Dauntlesses, so that we can get that out. They're a tad quicker. We'll make them hang back a tad. Yorktown, launch out. Dauntlesses, thank you very much. Actually, what we can do is send these straight over to the carrier. It's not particularly far away. These can actually provide direct cover over to our Dauntlesses there, so they're not mismatched too much. And hopefully we'll get that before it launches planes towards our cruisers, which it has just spotted. I do apologise for coughing there. And we will lay smoke. And watch out there. Visibility not amazing at 72%. That's a losser. We've got to have a true fleet carrier here. I would bet. Generally, it's a Soryu or Hiryu I've seen to begin with, but with this many planes, it still doesn't matter. It's still a losser. We're going to have to break out early here. Going to have to break early and actually go in over here, full speed over here. They're going to go for the front ships mainly, as well as things like Pensacola and Portland. We'll turn these around, I think. And just be careful for collisions, really. Once again, not going to do huge amounts of damage, but with so many planes about, sheer volume of shots fired at us is going to be a danger. It looks like they're going for the Brooklyn again, actually. Going to make sure we turn hard at them and increase our speed. These guys quite likely going for a heavy cruiser or even the Ellis over here. Have we dropped with this group? They've not dropped, so they're not going for the Brooklyn just yet. Gonna just watch this over here. Slow down the Portland a tad, because we will get possible collision over there otherwise. There we go. So these are going for Portland. Let's increase our speed there then. These have not dropped, so they're likely going for Benham. These guys have dropped. That's for Brooklyn. Let's Turn, just turn there. Portland's hit by 1, not a problem. That's just very, very light damage, as you can see there. We can get on top of that fairly easily. Start turning with the Venom. Say zeros, just really an annoyance, to be honest with these bombs. Really an annoyance. Unless they hit a Venom. So do have flooding on that. We're actually going to stop with that. So it gets on top of the flooding. Pensacola's hit by more bombs because it is a large target. But once again, you can see if we get on top of this, there's no fires just yet, at least. We've only shot down the 1 aircraft because they are going fast, high, and we're maneuvering so much that our AA can't really keep up with them. Can I just say, very quickly, it's very, very encouraging to see 40 of you here persisting, even though, at least to my knowledge, you can't chat. Well, big apology for that. That will be sorted for the next stream. Because I'd love to see your reactions right now. I really would. Oh dear. Pensacola's getting hit by a lot of dud bombs, actually. Let's stop with that. These guys dropped. Yeah, all dropped. All dropped. So I think we're waiting for perhaps one more drop, perhaps onto the mayor over here. But we are going to stop with everyone so we don't get any collisions and to make sure that a Pensacola can recover. And we will let that fully recover. It is only light damage. We're all good. Annoying, certainly. But you know what that means? There's a lot of zeros away from their carrier. Yeah? Away from the carrier, opens things up here. It opens a few opportunities up. But knowing how the AI play, they're probably going to have zeros regardless over their carrier. Because they do like to pull them out their ass sometimes. In my first ever War on the Sea series, I was doing I think a dive bombing attack onto a Yorktown, I believe it was, or a Wasp. After shooting down 24 out of 24 zeros. They were all downed prior to the attack, but they still had 12 zeros left over. And the Wasp was the only operational carrier, I believe, at the time. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll just give this a bit of time. Stop the flooding at least. And that'll do. Really? That will do, Donkey. Absolutely fine. They're probably only shot down a couple of them. Yeah, 3 out of 22. Not to worry there. They'll probably get back to their carrier before we get over there. We're going to take this slowly, though. Mark up. Get the Dauntlesses over. We can still see that very slightly. Going to try and get on the nose of that and as close as possible. There we go. Let's just adjust angle of thrust there. We can see some dive bombs coming for Yorktown. Only got 6 Wildcats available. We've got to wait 0.7 hours. Let's run away. Could probably recall these Wildcats actually, but a lot of them appear to be out of fuel. So we're just going to hit this and trade, I think. Let's go to the Wildcats. They could detach from the Dauntlesses just to make sure we are properly on top over there. And that will do. Looks like the dive bombers are actually retreating if I saw properly there. So that is brilliant. Let's go in now. Stop wasting time. And what we could do is get the Wildcats. We've got a lot of them. 24 over here. Take them off of fire at will. And that will give us a bit more control. Let's have a look. How close are we? How bloody close are we? Right on top of them. I would have preferred a nose-in approach because bombs generally go more vertical than wide. Place your bets. Place your bets. What do you think we've got? It will be the number 1. I'm going to say Soryu. Oh, it's a Shokaku. Okay, so this is actually very nasty because the Shokaku's AA is disgustingly monstrous. So what we're going to do is spend some time around it. We're going to spend some time around it because I want to distract it. We're going to distract it with a Losser Wildcats. We're going to dive down over here, maybe attack a destroyer over here. What sort of destroyer is it? It is a Shiratsu. We can tell because it has 2 gun turrets. And that'll do, really. Just identify that. Get our Dauntlesses. Keep them turning at the moment over here. And tell you what, we'll move them a little more to the bow so that we do get away from that AA just a little easier. And we will increase their speed. I'm going to get the Wildcats. I've got to dive them down. That'll do. So we'll increase the speed of the Dauntlesses for now so they can get into position a bit wider away from that carrier. Just a bit better there. Doesn't look like they're firing any flak at us just yet. You can tell from the state of the weather that actually the visibility is rather high, so they should see us fairly well there. There we go, we do have 0, so we need to abort going for the destroyer and just go straight on over to the 0s there. That's told everyone to go over to 1-0 there. Going to tell 4 Wildcats to go over here. And we're actually going to tell the rest of the Wildcats to climb to roughly Dauntless height. Tell you what we could do is actually just form these guys up and make it a bit easier and then detach them in a second, like so. And you know what? We'll just get the Dauntlesses straight in anyway, since we can now see an aircraft carrier. However, I will now see 0s, but we are going to make sure we've maxed out all their speeds so that they do come in fairly similar times. Attack, like so. Bit cheesy, bit spammy, but we need to bloody go for it. We need to absolutely go for it. Can't waste any time, unfortunately. Tis firing out at someone. Does appear to only be 2 zeros so far. So really the Dauntless's own AA in large groups could probably handle that. But I don't want to take the risk. Good thing we've got Wildcats. Can't complain that we have cap up. We have, funnily enough, imagine that, taking precautions in this particular playthrough. Imagine doing that. With the Shokaku's very nasty AA, you can see the small arms opening up there. Away from the main group here, or the first group. There you go. Now it's focusing us. We will lose some Dauntlesses here. That is a given. Rather unfortunately. Can we get this 0 over here? Let's not watch the 0s. Let's watch the actual bombing. That's what we're here for. Very nice. Very nice. Ooh, that was a very nice main bomb hit there. They always look like magazine explosions, those ones. You've got to listen out for that. Coming in with the rest of the groups now. Look at that. I think we've only lost 1 or 2 Dauntlesses. Just catching that. Oh, that is beautiful. Beautiful. Yorktown says hello, by the way. Oh. Look at that. Yeah, losing a Dauntless there. Not the worst loss if they do lose this carrier, which they better bloody do. There we go. Another main bomb hits. I think that's the last. Look at the big old list of bomb hits here. If that doesn't go down, I will cry and be very surprised. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Dauntless is lost so far. Not too bad. Let's take a report. Critical to heavy. That's not critical to critical, is it? Certainly not critical to critical. Shall we encourage that to sink? I think we should. I think we should certainly encourage that to sink. Let's make sure we are all formed up here. Let's go over. We're at the front. I'm looking at the wrong Wildcats there. Increase our speed to max for now. Dive down a tad. It may burn and flood out. It is burning and flooding. That's absolutely brilliant. Do we want to stay around to make sure one destroyer at least goes? Possibly. Possibly. They do have an Akatsuki. Akatsuki's very nasty. You have one of these ones. And they got another one of these ones. It's either Kagero, Sashio, or Yugumo. The big 3. You know what? We've done our job. Let's leave it alone. I think we'll be fine. Let's leave. 6 command points. Shokaku down. Day 2. We've not lost our own carrier. Can't believe we're having to say that on bloody day 2. That it's an amazing thing We haven't lost our own carrier. 4 Dauntlesses lost. Absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it. Let's carry on. I'm going into my YouTube mode there. I'm expecting to do a pause there. Yeah, we pulled back with our carrier. That's absolutely brilliant. Those vows were retreating anyway, so we can bring down our carrier to advance with our battle force now. Let's carry on with that. Encounter at Port Moresby is only planes so far. Milne Bay is only planes so far as well. We're getting a lot of air traffic. It's coming off of Lie though. Yorktown ready to launch aircraft, but we only have a couple hours left of airtime anyway. Battle Force 1's coming down. What we're going to do is actually, how long is it going to take to get through here? 5 hours here, 7 to get 12 hours to run the straight here and press on nighttime. That's what I'm thinking. Or do we play it a little safer? I think because if they see us anyway over here, they are going to launch the Shortland aircraft, is what I'm thinking. It's quite a way to go for them though. I'm trying to think. If it's heavy bombers, they will have the range. We can waste a bit of time, go down here. What's really swayed that for me is the fact that they'll quite likely send Raboul planes if we go over here, and that just won't stop. Will not stop. And at least over here we can bring Yorktown out of sights there and give them some support there if need be. Supplies still taking their time. Taking their sweet bloody time. One little complaint I got is that you can't really move the camera down. I'd really rather make Port Moresby and Milne Bay a little more central. What we're going to do is send some Wildcats to Battle Force 1 before enemy planes come in. I know, dangerous. We're going to send 10 over there. Doesn't need to be huge, because it will be more bombers and float planes and such, but any cap is better than none, of course. It's quite stretching the fuel, though. That's the thing. We're going to be isolated once we get past Guadalcanal here. We did manage to go over there actually fairly safely. See, they're not actually quite reaching that now. Troops failed to take Cebu. That's absolutely fine. So what we're going to do with Battle Force, like I said when we started, we're just going to make a roadblock until an enemy battleship turns up. And then we will retreat. So we're going to unload all cargo here, just reinforce, give us a little bit more reinforcements in case we do get some sort of invasion. Although if we do get a massive invasion, probably not going to drive it off anyway, but it is needed over here. And that's okay. The one thing about the engineering and fuel loss actually each week is that it will reduce the amount of planes we can replenish as well. So what's changed over here then is that after invading Shortland, we're going to want to spend some fuel and such on Milne Bay. But we do have a tool to deal with that. Let's go on to the next day. And we waited over here. We'll come down with these fast supplies closer to our carrier. And what we're doing now is launch out some more scouts over here, I think. We'll launch some from Portland to start with. We can launch them into the open sea over here to begin with. Don't need to use all of their endurance, just so that we can make sure we are getting a very specific area. And we're going to very tightly double back on ourselves over here. Make sure we've always got some sort of scout in this strafe over here. No need to push too far. We don't have anything really to deal or help our own sight out there. Take advantage of the sight we're getting from that scout. But I don't want to jinx it, but so far all is quiet. Doing all right on Moresby as well. But sometimes the AI likes to sneak through this main channel over here, come south of Milne Bay, and then bombard Moresby by stealth. We'll get our fast supplies closer over here. How long is it going to take to get over to Shortland? 21 hours. Let's halve that thereabouts. Let's go to 10 hours over there so that we can come under cover of night, drop off some preliminary supplies onto Shortland to help our upcoming invasion. So, very nice start indeed. Hope you're all enjoying it. Hope you're having a good night or day, depending on where you are. Got tomorrow's video out. It's interesting. Bit calmer than what we're used to for the series. But finally playing on our own terms, and that is week 1 done. So what are we going to do with our supplies now? We're going to get more supplies out because we want to use some supplies to upgrade, if possible, Milne Bay. Actually, how are we looking on Port Moresby? Port Moresby is a level 3 port to begin with, so you can resupply off of there. But due to the new degradation, or depletion rather, not necessarily degradation, of Milne Bay due to the weekly supply loss, we might want to build that up a little more, and because it doesn't have so many troops and such on there either. So what do we want to get? Do we want to get a minor resupply task force or a major? I quite like going for a major to begin with. What do we have on Midway? We have a losser. So actually carrying resources is not necessarily a problem just yet. We'll pick up some supplies and such first. We'll go for... I should quite like Arthur Middleton's... how do they compare speed-wise to Arcturus? They are actually faster than Arcturus, but we'll get dragged down by any fuel tankers, I think. But we'll go for Arthur Middleton's to begin with. Is they cost a tad more, but they're faster and they have a slightly greater carrying capacity there. We're going to go for 1, 2, 3 for engineering, I think. And we're going to go for... Well, they're not really dragged down by the Cimarron, are they? But they're dragged down by Patapsco. That swayed that for me then. Engineering, fuel, enough really, not quite enough to upgrade it just yet, but we have limited supply, or command points rather, so we're going to get another Middleton, and we're going to get some destroyer escort there. We're going to get some Clemson Wicks. We have 9 command points remaining, so 3 over here actually sorts us out perfectly. So we're done on there. And let's remember to actually put something on here. We're going to go for engineering, more engineering, maybe a little bit more engineering. And we're going to go, of course, for fuel. We're going to go for supplies, and we're going to go for a little more troops, but mostly supplies on our escorts there. Because supplies are a game winner. And we're going to be very spicy and cut down on time to go straight through Guadalcanal over here. I bloody buggered that up because of a slight misclick. Alright, let's go back in. Really slide on over. Give that a little better. We might want to change that when we get closer to Guadalcanal because we've just put it right outside. I don't really want to do that. Let's carry on. Coming towards the night time, so we're going to be blind. That's a double-edged sword though, and I was going to launch our preliminary supplies overnight, but we've missed the chance now, so we'll try and remember next time. Our supply invasion task force is coming in. Are we going to get instant radar contact with a nasty enemy fleet? So that's the question. It's been a week, they should be here by now. I'm bloody expecting them, they're late. Where the bloody hell are they? 'Cause 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 Okay, so it's 15:44. It's going to take us 11 hours to get in, so let's bloody go. And then that gives us a little bit of time to escape Shortland under cover of night as well. Not a lot of time, granted. So actually, if we're going to jump the gun and actually get our Yorktown a tag closer under cover of night so that we can provide some sort of air cover if need be. This is something you need to be very precise with. I don't want to go too close, but... Oh, that is okay. Excellent. So it doesn't always look like you're in range there. Let's pull out. And how many supplies we dropped on there? 750. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it goes a long way to helping maintain an invasion. Okay, so we have that up. Yorktown can launch planes, not manage cargo at fast supplies. We'll launch, not all 24. That's a bit overkill. Gonna launch 10, I think, again, over to fast supplies. What's the range over there? Because we won't have a lot of airtime around that. It's not so bad. We're going to get attacked straight away, though, I reckon. They're not spotted us. Might actually be telling them we're here by launching the planes out here. But better safe than sorry. Yeah, we're going to skip over this. That's all good. All good. Very nice. Regular practice there. If I had a set of balls, I would put our battle force group all the way up to Ribble and expend all of our ammunition, unfortunately, on bombarding. That's the thing. That's why we're not doing that. We need a battleship to reliably bring that down to a level 3 airfield is the goal. There's a long-term goal, but not to worry. How close are we with invasion support or invasion task force? 17 hours. We're going to get on there. It's a really horrible time, but we just need to keep pressing. There we go. All right, what have we got? What have we got? We need to launch... That says 1 BB. I hope it's wrong. But we're going to launch bow fighters and bow foots with torpedoes and go for perhaps a cruiser. Going to bring the bow foots or bow fighters out to begin with. Let the Milne Bay recycle there. Bring out bow foots with torpedoes. Come straight on in with both of these. Quite likely not a carrier, so that's something for us. Let's come out just a tad there so they're not right on top of their AA. Come from 2 separate angles, and that will do. Wish us luck. Oh dear. So we're quite likely going to lose all of our planes here. Yeah, big old task force. That's an invasion task force. What do we have? We have a foot attacker. We have a Congo. Interesting. We have Myoko. We have a Tenryu. So this is actually a bombard task force. We have a Fubuki. It's another Tenryu. All right. We have one of those. We have Fubuki again, Kumanagara, and another one of those. Interesting. It's a very tough decision here because Congo's not going to sink. It's just not going to sink because we're not going to get enough torpedoes on target here. If all 6 hit, possibly would sink, possibly, not guaranteed, but we're not going to get 6 in because of their AA. Do we go for the Myoko? Hope we get 4 torpedoes on. That will sink it, possibly. Or do we go for an easy kill and something to make sure our destroyers are safer later on? We're not going to take a surface engagement, though. That's the thing, because they do have a Congo. If they replace the Congo perhaps with another heavy cruiser, I would very happily take this, actually. Very happily take the surface engagement. Do you want to go for foot attacker? Perhaps. But if we go to the Myoko is the most... I think it's the most juicy target at the moment because it's at the rear of their formation there. We could probably get a few cheeky torpedoes on that. What we're going to do then, these are the bow foots, so we're going to increase their speed to max, which is not overly quick. We're going to increase the speed of the bow fighters to max, which is rather quick, so that we can try and get in at similar times. So we're going to dive down to roughly 200-ish there. That will do. Not exactly Striking altitude there. Did we target the Myoko with bow fighters? No, we did not. And they are manoeuvring against us, which, you know, it's okay. It's okay. It's a good idea. How do I want to go about that? Because our bowfits are looking all right with that. This is where it's going to get a bit tricky. It's going to get a tad on the tricky side here. Going to reduce our speed with the bow fighters. And the bow foots can pretty much dive straight on in. They can go at full speed for now. They won't have to decelerate too much there. Gonna dive on down over here and I think take manual control of the bow fighters for now until they get closer in. I'm not going to manually drop because I am terrible at that. Very, very terrible at that. We're going to increase our speed to over torpedo friendly speeds at the moment, just so we get past this little bit of small arms and flak. Come to the rear of that destroyer, slow down a tad so that we can be torpedo friendly and turn around a bit. And we're going to tell this guy to attack from here. Both foots can actually belay that attack order, slow down so we're torpedo friendly, and attack from here. Very nice sort of anvil attack here actually, but how's the lead looking? That's the question. How is the lead looking? Have we dropped? We have just got all of them off before we died there. We do have very slow British torpedoes, but that's not looking great, that lead, is it? Might just clip one torpedo on the rear there. It might turn out to just escape that torpedo there. Got one, but he's turning out too much for this one. This probably want to come from the front of ships. You know, a bit late to say that now. We've only lost the one plane so far. Let's increase the speed and altitude of our both fighters here. That's unlucky. Probably could have got that. Yeah, because we've got 6 drops. And are we going to run out of range? We're going to run out of range on this. Just look at the map here. Not entirely sure he's on a proper course to get hit by this. Look at that. Look at that. That's rather unlucky. I think we should just get out. Try again. But by that, so we did moderate damage to that. That's very nice indeed. But we only lost 1 fighter. I was expecting to lose all of them. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to pull back with Battle Force 1. We're going to pull back because they might just ignore Milne Bay if we're lucky, but then they'll go for Port Moresby if that's the case. Going to pull back just over here. One of our abracadabras is caught. What have we got? We have a single 0 so far. That'll probably turn into, yeah, multiple 0s. Let's get some early shots out and retreats, I think, if possible. Now we're going to go into this group here. Let's try and get another one. Oh, killing spree there. Look at that. Hat trick. It's a shame he's going down, though. He's a bloody ace pilot. Look at that. 3 out of 7. Could have had them. Could have had them. Alrighty. Let's carry on is all we can do. Encounter with Yorktown. Excellent. And we've got most of our Wildcats over here. They don't need to go for that anymore. What we could do actually is transfer them to Yorktown. It's a little late for that though, but we do still have some reserve, and that's why I only launched 10 towards the far supplies, because we now have 19 in reserve over here, which we are going to launch all of them. Let's remember to press done this time. Go to Yorktown so it stays over, and let's go in. We do have radars active, but we're going to get smoke on and slow down a tad. Alrighty, what have we got? We have Donryus and we have Nels. Excellent. We've got to turn off fire at will, so we're going to do that very quickly. But that's okay. We're going to send out individual orders anyway. We have 1, 2 each on there. 1, 2 each on that Donryu. Actually, this fire at will is actually not particularly bad at the moment. 1, 2. 1, 2 on that, 2 on that. That's all we need. That's all we need to know. It's all I'd have done anyway. Actually, might have wanted to climb down for these nails already, but it's not too much of a bother. Not too much of a bother there at all. Gonna get some early shots off because Donryus actually have a fair amount of armor for these planes. So I would need 2 on 1 there to make sure we do get the very cheeky 1 pass. It looks like we are diving down fairly successfully anyway before we get on top of the nails, so it should be okay to do that. We're going to fast forward a tad here because we don't want to just watch them come in as a straight line. Also very encouraging to see 50 of you here. Yeah, it's very, very encouraging is all I can say. Really big thank you. I'm used to doing very irregular streams on Twitch to me and one of my friends. Very, very much appreciated that you've taken time out of your Sunday as well, of all things. And I do apologise once again for the lack of the chat option. But you know what? Well worth doing this because it's been very spicy indeed. Very, very spicy indeed. I think the aim of today then, because we're coming up to 1.5 hours, I think, or just over, yeah, getting around there. Land on Shortland, pull out, let them bombard Milne Bay. What we're going to do here is actually land these 10 Wildcats. That should give us time to protect Yorktown with the current cap that it has, recycle those 10 planes, and then we can send them over to the invasion supplies over here. It's about management. It's about management. I know very little about management. Let's go to this Wildcat. Probably try and escape this. If there's bugger all over here very quickly, yeah, I don't have the patience for that. I want to land on Shortland in this stream. Milne Bay, yep, there we go. Okay, so they're not directly going for Milne Bay there. Are we ready to launch again? Yes, we are. So we're going to do exactly the same again. Exactly the same again. We're going to launch the bow fighters out. The reason I launched the bow fighters out away from the task force first, at least in the first instance, was in case they did have an aircraft carrier. We could leave that alone. That's retreating. That's just a precautionary, watch out, there's Japanese about. But we're not going to leave them alone because we know we've damaged that the Myoko there. So as I was saying, we launched these out in the first place because there's always the possibility they have a carrier disguised in there, and that will wreck anything there, will wreck Beauforts and such. We do want to come in together. If they launch fighters out, you do have to go into that, unfortunately. So this lets us play on our own terms a little bit more. And Wildcat. Ooh, spotted some supplies. We'll ignore that for now. We've got bigger fish to fry. But we are likely going to hit that. We're going to try and come from their rear over here. Don't know what they're doing over there. We need to go in anyway before we lose fuel. Yeah, there we go. We're quite distant from them there. What about with our bow fighters are pretty much on top of them though. Have they changed formation? They have not really actually. Not really. So this time I still want to come from the flank because of the AA. We saw what I did last time. So we're going to try and cover the flank and then be very cheeky and just go around a little bit. So we're close enough with the bow fighters that we might as well just go straight in. But we're going to try and come uniform round here. Circle round. Decrease our speed by quite a bit. And certainly decrease our altitude there. It goes to about 260, that'll do. We're going to dive straight on down with the Beauforts there. Just come a little more directly at them. We'll increase our speed to max so we can catch up with the bow fighters, and that will do. Take another sip of my drink. That is refreshing, actually. That's very refreshing. Well, alrighty, so we're going to just circle on back round again with the bow foots. What we could probably do is tell them to follow over here, actually. So we could circle around the bow fighters once again, just collect the bow foots and then subdivide them a little later on. It's a tool I often forget about, actually, is the follow command. And they're giving us a very nice broadside. It's very tempting, actually, to go as one massive group down to this. It's not going to make a lot of difference, but we will subdivide them once again, so that we don't take an unlucky flak shot and destroy all of our planes. We're going to speed up them with our bow fighters to 174-ish. Make sure the bow foots group separately. Thank you. If we do that, come on. Form up is the button I'm looking for. Having a bit of a brain fart there. And we shall issue that. Go over here. Make sure we are targeting Myoko. And the bow fighters can be quicker, so they're going to come from the front. And the bow foots can just come on down. That will be their flank by the time we get in and have turned. So we're actually going to keep a slow speed here. Remember to dive down to a torpedo altitude there. Looking good on that approach there. So let's speed on up once again to keep up with the bow fighters. We can bag ourselves a carrier and a heavy cruiser. Very nice indeed. Very, very nice indeed. Let's come more directly over to that Myoko now. And reduce our speed a tad so that we don't forget in just a second. And I'm just going to manually turn these guys around and increase their speed a tad so that they do come from their fronts. We're going to attack from here. And slow down once again so we can turn around. And try and come a little more nose in there. And very tempting to try a manual attack, but we're going to resist the temptation and go for an automated attack there. Although, having said that, we might have to go for that now because we buggered that up. That's okay. That's all good. It's all good. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. Let's drop from here. And remember to pull up and get out. So if we miss here, that is absolutely... Yeah, look at that. Actually, that's the bow foot drop going over there. Look at that. That's the bow foot drop that's completely missed there because it's just the 2 torpedoes in that spread. But they did come from the rear. And that at least does the job of making them think about where they want to turn. 3 large hits. That's 4 in total after the previous attack. We've lost all but 1 plane. So we're glad we got some hits. Let's take a report. So heavy to critical flooding. Alright. Alright. Wouldn't mind some exterior fires. Just to visualise that a bit better and to look nicer for us. Have lost all of our planes, so we're going to wait around. Because the deck is nearly on the waterline there. It's having a think. It's having a list. It's certainly speeding down, that, isn't it? Is that going to be successful? We hit it from the starboard previously, didn't we? So that's components on either side damaged. There's the Horn of Victory. There is the Horn of Victory, guys. Costly, absolutely. But we do have, don't forget, we do have supplies coming in to replenish that. Unfortunately, losing so many planes with so little fuel on Milne Bay means we can't launch any more of those. That's not going to replenish, unfortunately. Or at least if it does replenish, that's going to run us down to 0 integrity, and we will start depleting our integrity on Milne Bay. So it is important we reinforce that with the incoming supplies. Not to worry, Myoko down, 3 command points. Very, very happy indeed. That should absolutely encourage the enemy to retreat now. But you never know, they do still have a battleship there. I'm going to keep Battle Force 1 away for now, just in case that does decide to come in for revenge. I don't want to throw that into a Congo. It's very tempting. I know how weak the Congo's armor is, but it does, this is the thing, you know, as a battlecruiser, it does have the guns to deter smaller ships. And deter us it will. So yeah, we're going to try and invade Shortland now, I think. Yorktown ready to launch, no worries. If we're not getting any more planes out, we're going to recycle these 19 so that they're ready to go out for the invasion task force very soon. But we are going to run out of airtime very soon. Yorktown under attack once again. Is that too late? 3.2 hours. Oh, that's nasty. Maybe we shouldn't have done that. Maybe we shouldn't have done that. It's a risk you got to take. What have we got? How's Yorktown looking? Actually, not too bad after that dive bombing attack. Just 2 permanently damaged components. Okay, so it is zeros. Did say it was fighters beforehand. Anyway, we have a single Wildcat. He's going to be a bloody ace pilot. He's going to go straight in. Going to attack that. We are going to slow down so we keep in smoke, but we are, of course, going to turn away from them this time. We've learned our lesson. We've learned our lesson, guys. We're going to turn away. We're going to turn in different directions. We are going to increase the speed of Yorktown so it gets off a little quicker there. And we can keep Warrington, move that round so that we can get our dual purpose guns firing at them. Slow down a tad though, so we do get under the smoke cover. Wonder how much wind really does affect the smoke in this game. It's not a written down mechanic. I'm sure it's about, but because it's not written anywhere, I can't confirm. So once again, not entirely hoping to sink anything here, just, you know, hoping to survive. If they do go for Yorktown survive, we will. It does have the arms to shrug off these, what are they, 60-kilogram bombs, I believe, off the top of my head. Maybe wrong. Looks like these are going for the Summers to begin with, though, so we're going to increase our speed and keep turning a little harder there. But they are worried about the Wildcat. These have dropped. I thought we were going to lose a Wildcat on the one pass there. Looks like, yep, just missed on that drop. Let's turn in with these now. Should really focus some zeros which still have bombs with this Wildcat. At least just to mess up their formation. But that drop's not looking too great. We're presenting a slim target for that. No, where we go? We're too low for that, were we? Okay, interesting. We can pass on over, I think, to the rear group here because we're not going to have time to go over to the next group. Yorktown is hit by 1 bomb. But you know what? 1 bomb out of, what, 18 to 21 here? It's all right. It's all right. It's all good. It's all good. These have dropped on Yorktown. No worries. We need to keep on turning, though. I think we'll slow down our speed a tad here. How's our Wildcat doing? He's wondering what to do. Really wondering what to do there. Looks like Summers is in danger of getting hit here. They've dropped on Yorktown again. Yeah, that's a lot more bombs on that. Nothing too major. Lost a director. But you know what? If it's not a flight deck, you know, I could take it. Very worried that looked like a real list then when we were turning. Oh dear. True spice. Get Bruce Forsyth on here and see if the spice is right. Are they dropping on? They'd have dropped by now anyway, no matter what they're going for. But we're going to stop here with Yorktown because that is all of the enemy planes. It's an interesting dynamic here, isn't it, for these bombs? You know, do you go for the small targets, which if you hit, you will do genuine damage to? Or do you go for the large targets, which are more likely to hit but not do so much damage to at all? You know, stuff that they can easily recover from. So that's all of them dropped. We'll let this secondary go to standard repair, and I think that'll do for us in this engagement. Shouldn't take too long. Shouldn't take long at all. All doing good. Excellent. So, not going to wait around for that anymore. Let's just go. No need to wait around. They lost 2 planes there. Let's... it's becoming nighttime. Let's not forget about... oh, we still need to wait, don't we? We're going to have to let those suppliers pass, unfortunately. Oh well, let's keep going. How long is it going to take, actually, for these to get in? 12 hours. Oh, that's danger. That's a lot of danger. Might move in a little closer here. Shave off 1.2 hours. And wait for the next day. So that we get in perhaps around... let's say 1600 hours here, so that we can get in under some decent cover, but getting out is what I want to do, you know. I want to get out safely, so stay here. Looks like that group has disappeared down here, so we're actually going to push up again because they're probably a vanguard for a invasion task force. Let's keep an eye on the time down here now that we're at night time. Wait for that to get to 4. Now it's going to take 12 or 11 hours over here. Absolutely fine. We can move Yorktown the tiniest bit closer. In my video I say this is the money position, but it does attract aircraft from Guadalcanal. So we're going to push up, knowing that we're going to attract aircraft from Shortland. There we go. So, do we wait too long? We have waited too long. I should have changed the formation. That's something I keep forgetting to do. I really need to keep changing formation before we go in here. But not to worry. Gonna take some hits. What have we got? Emily's. Loads and loads of Emily's, I expect. Yep, that's a losser. And that's a losser. On the upside, it's only 2 drops to, you know, dodge. Let's start evading, shall we? Full speed ahead. Move, I think really want to move everyone port side, really, don't we? If possible. Just get them a rough, you know, turn port side command at the moment, really. Just so that things are moving. We can check out for collisions later on. What are they going for? Probably the Arcturus over here. Let's increase speed and turn. Let's increase the speed and turn in this one. Yeah, that's probably about it, really. So long, you know, I don't mind losing an engineering Arcturus at the moment so much, because the suppliers want to at least take Shortland. Looks like they're going for the Patapsco, actually, and that is rather dangerous because that is made of cargo magazine explosions. They're not shooting anything down either just yet. There we go. Yeah, that's going for the Patapsco. Come on, the little ship that could. Rather give them. This is probably. All right, that could have been worse. This is going for this ship over here. The one ship we have not moved. Patapsco's doing all right though. Just going to stop everything over here because we will take damage from collisions otherwise. Not much more we can do about that Arcturus at the back, but that's an engineering Arcturus. If it takes hits, not to worry too much. Taken 1 hit so far. So long as that's not endangering a magazine explosion, we'll be fine so far. Slow down this Patapsco so it can get on top of the damage there. Excellent. Cool. That's not looking too bad. Yeah, I think it's 2 major major fires now, rather. It's certainly looking bad now. Ooh. Very tempted to just leave here, actually. I'm gonna leave. Gonna make the executive decision to just leave and get Cap in now, I'm afraid. Do know it's a little bit on the edgy side there, as far as some people may be concerned, but I do want to get that in. And now that we are under air attack, we are going straight in. Let's make sure that happens. Let's go. Probably going to get hit one more time by some sort of aircraft before our planes come in. So that's going to be very spicy indeed. Let's keep going. Being hit on Yorktown. That's rather unlucky. Just launched everything now, expecting that we're going to be all right there. Do have 5 Wildcats available. They'll probably do the job. These are probably Nels or Donrus from Guadalcanal. Probably both, actually. What have we got? What do we have? Can we see anything? There we go. Nels and Donrus. Yeah, Donru's over here. Very nice indeed. We're going to have to go for the Donru's first because it's just a bit easier to down Nels with your ship's guns. Let's see. Going over here. Thank you. What have we got over here? Is it an extra group? Ooh, some torpedo arm Bettys. Interesting. Let's make sure we're targeting things properly over here. Do it sort of by the book if possible. Like that. Like that. And we'll send them all for the Donrus to begin with. We'll have to turn away from these Bettys here. If we lose, I swear, this Yorktown's gone through so much. If we lose Yorktown to these bloody things. But because they have to dive down, the torpedo bombers are giving us a chance to go for them. Gonna have to. It is the Donrus I'm more worried about here because of our approach there. Yeah, look at that. We're probably not going to down them. Yeah, that's going to be a tad. We're not turning how I want there. That's great. It will have dropped, just dropped there. So let's stop wasting time with our Wildcats, get down to the torpedo bombers. Like so. Actually, let's turn a few, tell them to go straight down. Please do as I say. There we go. That'll do. No, it's not doing as I say. All right. Let's just tell it, give it an attack order then. I wanted it really to dive down before we go in so that we can just get a decent approach off there. How is Yorktown looking? Don't know if that was a bomb or a plane going down there. So give it a second to watch out. Looks like it was a bomb dropped. But we're still trying to get in on these Nels. Is it over here? It's Betty's on this side. Try and slow down here to get in, but might actually have to speed up just to catch up there. It's not liking to fly straight there, is he? Go in. Come on. You can get this. You can get this. There we go. Just before they drop. That's the Nels dealt with off screen as well. So we're safe there. 5 Wildcats really made the difference. 7 out of 7. And they've earned a 10 out of 10 from me. Let's keep those up. Keep going. Abracadabra. Oh, that's the wrong button. Now, have we got anything over here? Can we sight anything? Do we just come out of this? Nothing immediate. It's quite dark. Not too bothered. Want to get on. Running out of air time, which is great. Let's move these Wildcats properly over Yorktown in case something else appears. And that should be safe. Cool. Should be, I guess, in just under night time here. Enemy troops defeated at Port Moresby. Excellent. And we should be in range to unload here by now. Come on, give me Shortland. I mean, the invasion supply force. I'm doing that myself. Unload all cargo. Very nice indeed. How's that looking? Should be able to win that. Supplied very nicely. Got enough troops. The balance of power in our favour there. That's excellent. So I think we'll come out. And we'll send our fast supplies back home, which we should have done a lot earlier. We'll get out safely, and then we may call it there, guys. Is don't really, bearing in mind this is going to be put on YouTube, don't want that to be linger too long there. It's a lot to take in. Going to move Yorktown a bit further out here actually, so we don't attract planes from the bases. Can remove that. Nothing's happening there now. And that, I think, guys, will be it for today. No, I said I was going to go for 2 hours, but we've got our goal done for today. We've landed on Shortland. That will be ours soon. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I can't see, unfortunately, again, your chat right now. So once this is uploaded, please do leave a comment, perhaps to say if you want to see more of this. The fact there's 54 of you persisting without the ability to chat, just listening to me talk at you, speaks volumes there, I think, to me. It's very much encouraging. Again, massive thank you. Really, really big thank you. It means the world to me that you've persisted through this 1.5 hours of pain. You know? So it's really, really nice indeed. Very glad we did this. But that is going to be it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And as ever, I hope all of your nights and days are auspicious. Goodbye.